Hello everyone, welcome back to Tool Truck Tools, where we discuss everything tool truck related. Got a ratchet review to go through here today. Got ratchets from various trucks as well as some independents. Also we'll just start out with our normal knife review here. This is another very low cost knife here. I picked this up off the tool truck. This is tool truck pricing. This is Coast, which I'm sure everybody's familiar with, the Coast lights, which are phenomenal. This is a Coast knife, lower end knife for sure. Tool truck pricing was right at 30 bucks. That's off the tool truck. I'm sure you can find this on Amazon or some other means cheaper. 30 bucks on the tool truck. It does have a nice lock here, which most knives in this price range do not have. This is nothing special. It has pretty good steel on it. It does hold a point, hold an edge pretty good. This is just some kind of cheap plastic grip here. Nothing phenomenal. Again, this is $30 off the. This was off the Mack truck. Nothing special, but it's a good knife that if you lose it, uh, bang it up a little bit or anything like that, it's not gonna kill you. $30 on the tool truck. I'm sure you could find this on Amazon for probably $20. There is a part number if anyone's interested. I've not looked this one up on Amazon. But if you wanted to, there's no doubt in my mind it's probably available or some version of it. All right, let's get into the ratchets. We have here various ratchets. We got them in from left to right, going from lowest cost option to the most expensive option. I do acknowledge that all of these on here are not direct comparisons. The things that they do have in common is they are all 1/4 inch ratchets. As you can see, some are fixed head, some are flex head, some are locking flex head, some are longer than others. So they're not exactly direct comparisons, but they are pretty close. As we start going through the pricing, you'll find that the price difference in them is staggering in some cases. All of these do carry a lifetime warranty through their respective manufacturers. We'll start on the left here, which would be an independent tool truck option or an online option. This is a Gearwrench. This is a locking flex head option. For the price, good quality item. This retails on Amazon as of today for $29.99. Let that set in there. $29.99. You can have this option. Next option, working to the right here, is the Icon option. This is a G2 Icon ratchet. A good quality product, fair price. Very similar to the Matco option as we get over here in looks and appearance and functionality, not in price. So this Icon option here, this is a locking flex head 1/4 inch ratchet. This retails with no sales for $54.99. My whole thing with Icon, the Icon line from Harbor Freight, I buy it. I think it has its place. I don't buy it unless it's on sale. So I don't know what I paid. I think I got this on a 20% off coupon. Icon G2 1/4 inch locking flex head, $54.99 retail. I probably paid somewhere around $40 for that option. Next one is the only one on here that is not a flex head option. This is the Snap-On hard handle option, which I am a huge fan of. These are my favorite handles of any ratchet from any line. That retails on the truck for $153. I did purchase that off the truck. All of these are purchased with my own money. No affiliation whatsoever. These are all purchased with my own money. I will point out, and this has been pointed out on some other channels, this is the newest option on the table, and this has been used maybe twice, and it just kind of comes, a lot of this Snap-On stuff, although it's very good quality, it just comes dirty. It comes dirty, it comes banged up, it comes scratched up, which, I mean, it's a tool. There's nothing wrong with that. It's certainly not going to affect the functionality of it, but if I'm paying that kind of money for it, I want to bang it up. I want to scratch it up. I don't necessarily want to buy it like that. And a lot of the Snap-On stuff that you get, for some reason, comes dirty. Even if it's sealed and packaged, a lot of times it's got just grime and stuff all over it, which I don't understand for a brand new tool that's, the premium manufacturer. Next one was purchased off the Mack truck. This is a Mack option. This is a flex head. It's not a locking flex head, just a flex head option. That does retail for $164.99. So slightly more than the Snap-on option, but it is also a flex head. Um, again, this is a retail price $164.99. Could be had cheaper based on whatever deal you're able to come up with your distributor. Next one is the most expensive option. This is a Matco quarter-inch locking flex head ratchet. This retails for a staggering $204.99. That is a astronomical price for a ratchet. You'll see there is a ton of similarities with the Icon option as we start going through here. A ton of similarities. There are some things that separate the Matco from the others, and I think the Matco is a phenomenal ratchet. But to have a retail price of $204, you could literally buy almost 10 of these, 10 of these Gearwrench options for the price of one of the Matcos. They're both lifetime warranties. I would argue that the Matco is a better ratchet slightly, but I don't think it's 10 times better ratchet. So we'll start going through these. First one is a Gearwrench option. This is the 120 XP. I have several of these 120 XP stuff. They're all excellent. The functionality of them, I've never had one fail. The locking mechanism, you can hear the indentations here. They're all positive, very tactile, lock in really good. You can use this ratchet without using the lock if you want. You can also engage the lock at any of those detents, and you have a pretty solid base there. There is some wiggle in this when the flex head is locked. This is not any more or less than any of the other locking flex head options, which we'll go through. The directional switch, no issues, very, very smooth. I'll let you hear the action here. Sealed head, which I prefer. I'm not a fan of the non-sealed head options. Again, this is the 120 XP, and all in all, just a quality ratchet at a good price. Icon G2 ratchet. Again, you'll notice there's a ton of similarities between both this, between the Matco and the Snap-on ratchet in a certain way, and we'll go through those. You'll see the locking mechanism is almost identical to the Snap-on, or excuse me, is almost identical to the Matco option. One thing is the Icon G2 is sealed head. The Matco is not. There are no real, the detents in this are pretty sloppy. As you start rotating this, there is some like clicks, not necessarily clicks, but you can feel the detents a little bit. You do not hear them, and they certainly don't engage at all. Whenever you lock it down, whenever you go to lock it at a certain location, it is pretty engaged. And we'll see there is some movement here, and there is also movement, as we'll see on the Matco, almost identical. You see how the locking mechanism kind of moves back and forth? That is almost the identical movement that you'll see in the Matco option. The Snap-on option, again, this is not a flex head option. This is just a fixed head. This dual 80 sealed head. I'm a huge fan of this. I am not a fan of the new Hunter Tooth. I don't think anybody is. This is just a good quality top of the line ratchet here. Let you hear the mechanism. Buttery smooth. I don't think anybody can argue that. Handle, this is a like it or love it type thing. I happen to love it. This is my preferred handle of any of the options. Again, this comes in number 3 at the price point option here. Little, obviously less features than either of these other two. Does carry the Snap-on name and the Made in USA tag on it. These are both either China or Taiwan made. ratchets. I will say as we get to the Matco option here, it's worth mentioning my issue with Icon is not that they're good tools. I think they make decent. I think they make good tools. My issue with Icon is I don't like the way that they just steal the intellectual property from all of the other manufacturers who have spent money on the R&D. I get the whole rebranding thing. I get all of that. Everybody does it, and there's only so many things, so many ways you can design this stuff. But if you go here, I mean, this is just blatant trying to make it look identical to something. I mean, there is just not a lot of difference here. You can tell whenever they get down into the quality stuff, the things that are harder to duplicate, like the thickness of the head, but you'll notice that the Matco is substantially thinner, which is kind of the trying to position this here, which is kind of the what the Matco ratchet is known for is that nice thin head. Um, Icon does not have that. It looks like it. It just is nowhere near as thin, and just something that they were, I'm sure, tried to duplicate, but for whatever reason they could not. Sealed head though, snap ring. Not a fan of the snap ring. Let's go to the Mac option. I will say, take note of this. If I can get this to focus, USA writing on the selector switch. This is an axis ratchet, 92th axis ratchet. The new Mac ratchets do not have that. There is some debate as to whether the body of these Mac ratchets are made in the U.S. as well as the gears, or if it's just the ratcheting mechanism, which is why the USA is written on the selector switch. I don't know the answer to that. If you guys do, please put it in the comments. Sealed head, the new option is not a sealed head ratchet. I don't like that. I don't own any of the new ones. I will probably buy one just for review purposes, but I do not own one currently. This one here retails for $164.99. Let's just go through I wanted to show the similarities in the movement whenever. So this is locked in. I will say that there's much more detents here. This is a better rotating mechanism than the Icon one. But whenever you lock it in, see that play? That is almost identical to the play that you find in the new Icon G2 ratchets. So it's in both of them. It's in the Matco, it's in the G2. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just how it's designed. But I think it just speaks to the fact that this is an exact copy of this. I'm sure the metal is different, and I'm sure there's other intricacies inside here, but in appearance and function, at least without putting any stress on it, they're identical. The head is thinner. This is a better ratchet, but it is also 4 times the price. Let me just lock this one down here, just so you can see. The movement is very, very similar. The ratcheting mechanism, very smooth, no real issues there or concerns. I think that's fine. Quick video here. That's all I got. Let me know which one you prefer. I will say as we go through this, I am a fan of the more premium options here. I am not saying they're any better. I just like to support the USA options when I can. Sometimes it's not always possible. I don't know that I would have a preference of the Snap-On, the Mac, or the Matco. I think it would depend on what I was doing. I will say I'm a big fan of Mac just because I feel like I have the best relationship with my Mac dealer, and probably buy more Mac products than anything. But I buy plenty of Matco. Snap-On is hit or miss. The dealers that I deal with are pretty inconsistent. So when I do get some Snap-on stuff, it's much more rare than the Matco and the Mac option. I will say another option that I do have access to, but I just don't have one, but I'm going to get one, is the Cornwell Z series. I have a 3/8 version of that, and those are phenomenal. The USA ratchets are excellent. I would put them on par with either any of the other three tool truck brands, and probably ahead of some of them. And they also come in at a little bit more competitive price. That's all I got. Thanks for joining us on Triple T here. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for your time.